All right. We're going to talk about being more intentional with the things that you say. Right? Because even if you have ADHD or not, because I'm not going to try to like self-diagnose anybody. It's trying not to self-diagnose myself. But for me, I tend to have this impulsiveness where I'm just blurting out a bunch of words like I'm instantly responding to people. People say something and I instantly respond. And sometimes I regret saying these things. Like, why did I say that? Why did I do that? That's not even my intentions. I just did it. Like, it's like your body goes on automatic autopilot, and then you just at one moment you're just realizing like, why did I do those things? I want to be more intentional with the things that I say. I want to be more calm, more collected. And I think what helped me was taking a pause with a lot of the things that I say. Instead of just instantly saying or responding, there is a pause, like a reset, like like that pause is time for me to self-assess the situation, right? Like to literally think, because I hate when I do this. I hate splurging out. I hate blurting out a bunch of words that I don't even intentionally wanted to say. I just said it, right? And I really don't understand why I said those things. I just said it, and it infuriates me. It really does annoy me because I don't mean it. That's not who I want to be. That's not what I'm trying to say. That's not the things that I'm trying to do. And I just did it because I'm impulsive. And I don't want to be that type of person anymore. So I've been trying to work on being more collected, more calm, more intentional with the things that I do and the things that I say. Taking pauses, like you probably noticed that I'm taking a bunch of pauses because I am trying to think of what I say. And I don't think it's weird. I mean, it just feels awkward because I'm literally just saying nothing, but I think it's a good thing. Okay, I think from a third person perspective, if you're one of these people who have ADHD or like who impulsively splurges or blurts out a bunch of things that they don't really want to say, I think taking pauses or that pause, like a reset, right? A reset before you're gonna say something is like you're bringing yourself back instead of just letting yourself loose, saying a bunch of stuff you're gonna regret later on. It's like a reset. You're pulling yourself back, and I think it helped. It really has helped me because, like I said, I've always had some impulsive things to say, but I don't say it. I mean, I let loose here and there. Sometimes I get too ecstatic in certain situations, hanging out with people that I really like, people that I'm comfortable with. But the thing is that there's a lot more nuance. Like, of course, you should always be. I mean, you shouldn't always be, but if you're comfortable with people, you should try to be yourself, right? But now there's a certain point where some people are still not their self, even though they hanging out with people they're comfortable with, because they have this habit of being impulsive, and being impulsive can still make you not be who you want to be, or being impulsive prevents you for who you really are, even around people that you're comfortable with. I tend to do this thing where I going back to the topic of me regretting a bunch of things that I say, right? Like during certain situations, I tend to just say things out of the blue, out of the ordinary. I respond to, or I make so many jokes, right? Like I'm one of those people that just makes a bunch of jokes and when you're uncomfortable, right? Like it's when you get super static, when you get super when you're just socializing or you're hanging out with people, I tend to do this thing where I'm always cracking up jokes, even though they're not even funny, right? Even though these jokes are not even like I don't even think they're funny, but I just make those jokes regardless because it's like you have this need to like not be uncomfortable anymore, but for some reason you're still this thing that you try to do to make yourself not uncomfortable is making you uncomfortable. So it's like a weird situation going on there. But I tend to crack so many jokes, right? But the thing is that I don't even think these jokes are funny. So why do I make these jokes if I don't even think they're funny? Like, am I trying to lighten up the mood? Am I trying to be more friendly? And honestly, I start to realize that, but nobody really cares, right? Just be yourself. You don't even have to crack up jokes. You don't even have to be the funny guy. You don't really have to do any of those things. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I want to be humorous. I want to be someone that people are able to, have a good time around. But I don't want to just be obnoxious. You're just cracking up jokes that are not even funny, those are not even those are not even things that I want to be doing. So why do I do it? So I try to practice pausing, resetting. I call these pauses resets because like it's like a reset to go back and self assess or assess the conversation, the situation you're in. And the things that come out of my mouth are a lot more intentional. The things that I actually want to say. The things that show who I try to be, who I want to be, and eventually who you want to be is going to be who you become, right? Because I've always have this thing, this ideal or notion that you try to act who you want to be, and eventually you will eventually become who you want to be. And I think that's like common sense. You know what I mean? Like I think that tends to be common sense. Like if you practice trying to be this person, you're gonna eventually become this person, and that's what I'm doing. But that's just the thoughts that I've had, the things that I'm doing, the habits that I'm trying to have is to be a lot more intentional. And I think one big step that is helping me is resetting, pausing, thinking about what I'm going to say. And I know that a lot of the things that I said in this video is just a bunch of willy-nilly, dilly-dally, bunch of repetitive things, repetitive topics. But it's just because I want to emphasize it. Because I truly think that anybody who has this tend of impulsivity, I think pausing and taking a step back, resetting. I use like pause like I don't know if I was clear, but what I mean by pause, I mean by like before you say something, there's a pause before you actually say it. Like just now, I just had a pause. Someone asks you a question, there's like a 1 second, 2 second, or just you literally just like they can tell that you're trying to think about like whatever they said. Like they know. And for some time I was like, this is awkward, right? Having pauses, having resets. I use resets and pauses as the same thing. Like the pause is the literal sense of literally like not like having a period before you respond, like where you just think about what you're gonna say. But I use that as a name. I use reset as a name for that pause. Just to clear the air. But what was I going to say? See, I also have this habit where Like I'm not gonna self-diagnose or self. I might have ADHD. I keep forgetting what I'm trying to say because sometimes I lose track. But whatever. I forgot what I was gonna say. But hopefully this is it. Basically, just pausing, resetting, has been helping me prevent. Oh, I think I remember. I think I remember. I was talking about for you. Well, okay. Basically, what I'm trying to say right now is that for anyone who has this impulsivity or the act of being impulsive with the things that they say and they tend to regret it, I truly think that having pauses or taking resets really can help. I mean, everyone's different. I'm not gonna assume that you guys are like me. Some people do things better than me, worse than me, different than me, right? Like everybody's on different wavelength, but I don't know. That's the things that have been helping me, and I hopefully, hopefully, hopefully you got what I was trying to say. Hopefully that I did good explaining things. But, anyways, I'm gonna let you guys get back to it, and I hope you guys are having a good time. It's like I'm literally about to go out right now, but anyways, peace out, and I hope you guys are doing well. Goodbye. Bye bye.